Hey tribe friends! I had my hair all done and my makeup all done to go live in our classroom group just now, and I thought, I hate to wait. I had to waste good hair and makeup, right? My husband's at work, my children are asleep. What else am I gonna do with all the hair and the makeup that I did except jump in the tribe and talk about oils? So if you missed the classroom, I was just in there talking about why I chose Young Living. That classroom group that we relaunched this month is for our members, but it's also for our not yet oily friends and family. If you have friends and family who have not yet signed up for Young Living and gotten their oils with you so that they can be here in our tribe group, add them to the classroom group because it's an awesome place for them to learn and figure out that they want to be here in this group and have all of their oils, right? And we know that a lot of new members are learning in that group too. I've had some really good conversations with some of you guys in the last few weeks since that group launched, where you're learning about the oils in your kit. Some of you have had your oils for a while and they're just now having time to learn about them, and I've been hearing good things about the things you're learning from the classroom group. So that is an awesome source for you guys as well as your not yet oily friends and family. And I was just live in there and I thought, why waste the hair and makeup? Plus I had my bottle of Valor because I need it to be able to go Facebook Live with thousands of people, right? So I thought, let's come over here and talk about anxiety, as if I don't talk about why I love the purple oil so much, but let's talk about it. So this is one of the most asked questions. Nikki gets asked about allergies and putting oils up her nose. And then second, she gets asked about anxiety because that is my other big testimony about what the oils did for me. So when I got oils, I understood because I had done some research that things were antihistamines and antibacterial and antiviral, and I understood like the wellness oils and how they worked, but I didn't think the emotional oils were gonna be for me because I just didn't understand it. I got my kit and I smelled them all when I got it the first night and made myself high, like sniffing all the oils, right? And Valor was in my original starter kit and I smelled it and it wasn't my favorite smell. Ew, I hate even saying that out loud because now it's my very favorite smell in the whole world, but it wasn't my favorite smell. And I thought, what are people using this for? I don't know. Like, I take anxiety meds. I don't think an oil is going to do that for me. And I put some on and was like, I don't feel anything. So I ended up giving this oil to my mother-in-law because people were talking about how it's good for bruises, which it is. And she had fallen down and had this huge bruise on her leg. And she tends to not heal after she gets bruises, especially on her legs. So I was like, hey, try this out. So she did an experiment, funny thing, where she put it on half her bruise and not on the other half. And we watched in the days following, the half that she put it on healed up super fast and the other half did not. So that kind of sold her on the oils and further sold me seeing that, but I still didn't think I needed Valor. So I continued using my oils for allergies and headaches and to stay well. I was getting sick all the time in my classroom and I continued to understand those things. And people kept talking about Valor for anxiety and I was like, y'all, I mean, I remember I was at like a meeting somewhere learning and people were like, Valor's been out of stock. It used to be super seasonal. We did not have a handle on getting enough of several of the ingredients in here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And it used to go out of stock, so people would stock up so they could make it through like the dry season without the Valor. And I remember saying, you guys, I mean, I don't know, I've never used it, like, is it really that big of a deal? And I remember somebody saying, okay, it's coming back right before Christmas and you buy yourself some Valor, Merry Christmas to you, just trust me. And I'm like, okay, so glad I did. So when it came back in stock, I was like, okay, everybody's talking about it, I'll just get it and I'll try it again. This time I won't give it away. And I started using it and oh my goodness, like I thought when I took that emotional oil out and just put some on my wrist real quick and didn't like feel anything that it wasn't working for me. That is not the way that emotional oils work. So let's talk about that. I was just telling a new member the other day who's feeling really anxious with everything that's going on in 2020. I told her, get your Valor out, but you need to put it in your pocket. Like, you need to have it close by. When you first start using an emotional oil and you're feeling very anxious or very down or very whatever, like whatever you're using the emotional oil for, you need to lean into that oil. So you need to smell it from the bottle, like deep breaths. We know that the oil goes to the brain, goes to that emotional epicenter of our brain in 20 seconds. They can see our brain waves changing and the oil working. So I try to take some deep breaths and make sure I've got about 20 seconds of deep breathing from the bottle. And y'all, I can feel it. Like, I can feel myself calming down. Like, I get that feeling. And then I put some on. I did that right before I got on here because I have to have the Valor to do the brave things, right? And I love the blue, how blue it is. And I will just like let it be between my wrists. I'll put some on the back of my neck. And now, because I've got my anxiety super under control, I can do it in the morning, maybe another time in the day, depending on what's going on, and be fine. But in the beginning, I needed to hold that oil, put it in my pocket, get it out every time I felt anxious. Smell it, put it on, lean into it so that I could really get a control of those super anxious feelings. So long story short, Valor is the oil that helped me get off of anxiety medications. I was super stressed out school teacher. Most of the school teachers I worked with were on anxiety medications because it is super stressful trying to get middle school children to pass STAR tests, and it was making us all so stressed. We had all got on medication, and I talked to the doctor about it, and I pulled off my anxiety meds, mostly using Valor. I also use Joy Over My Heart because that's very uplifting to my mood. And those two things helped me to pull off of anxiety meds, which was super awesome. Anxiety meds made me feel funny. Now that I know how pharmaceuticals go to work in our bodies, I'm super glad that I was able to change. Every prescription that we were able to come off of was a huge win because I know what pharmaceuticals can do to our bodies, like the negative side effects that I was experiencing from various things that I was taking. I was super glad every time I was able to replace one with natural means. So Valor being the anxiety oil, I will love it forever. I am a super anxious person by nature, and that is my number one go-to for anxiety. But let's talk about a few other things. CBD. We didn't have CBD till about a year ago. Last year at convention in July, we got CBD. And I learned about that and the amazing things it can do. That is an entire workshop. That is a whole long workshop. All of the things that CBD can do for us. Like, it's pretty amazing. We have an entire system in our body that they didn't know was there until about 10 years ago. And they're still learning about it. And CBD goes to work on those receptors in that system and helps our body. So it can help with pain, anxiety, autoimmune. There are so many different things they're seeing CBD help with. There's all kinds of posts in this group. If you go over to the side in the tribe and search CBD, you're going to see tons of posts, and I've listed all of the things it can do and all of the science and all of the reasons why it will pop up. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll tag you in all of it because there's tons and tons of posts because I got really super passionate about it when I was reading about it. But CBD helps me with my anxiety. It keeps it more at bay to where I use the Valor less often. When I was going through anxious times, I was having to use the Valor often. And the CBD is helping me to stay calmer longer and to not have to use the Valor a million times a day. So that has been really awesome to add to my anxiety regimen. Our CBD works best when you use it with oils because they took it all the way down to the crystal form to get the purest form of CBD, and it takes all of the THC out, which I know scares a lot of people because you're afraid you're going to fail a drug test or whatever. The Young Living's Crystal Isolate CBD has 0 THC in it, so that you will not be failing any drug tests. And kind of long story short, it was the only way to make sure we get a super pure CBD. Those that still have the THC in it have the chance of still having some yucky things that would not be seed to seal appropriate with Young Living, that we do not want in our products, because hemp plants soak up the bad stuff. That's what they do. They take the bad stuff out of the soil, the water, the air. So it's super hard to have a pure CBD without getting all the way to that crystal isolate. So that is what Young Living chose, because they were all about making sure we didn't have any toxins in any of our products. So CBD has no THC, and it works best with oils. That's what kind of brings it back and makes it like the full spectrum all of the CBD people talk about. So I use my CBD with oils. So if I am going to use my CBD and the main thing I want to use it for is anxiety, then that's a no-brainer. I put some Valor on, I take my CBD and move on. But any oil will help bring it back around and make it full spectrum. So that was a lot more science than you wanted to know, but CBD and Valor are my 2 go-to things for anxiety, you guys. Valor alone was rocking my world, but Valor with CBD, forget about it. Like, I don't even suffer with anxiety anymore as long as I do those things and take care of myself. I've also educated myself lately with other natural things we can do as far as our diet. We know that we can exercise. We know that we can get fresh air. We know that we can get sunshine. We know all of the things we're supposed to do. We know we're supposed to drink lots of water, right? Everybody knows. But I also learned that magnesium is super helpful to keep anxiety at bay. I get nervous to the point in a high stress situation where I will have like a nervous tick. Like my eye will twitch and things like that. And that is a magnesium deficiency, come to find out. So things like mineral essence from Young Living are very, very helpful, because that's full of magnesium and minerals that we don't really get from our food, because our soils these days are super devoid of those minerals. So mineral essence tastes kind of yucky. But I can put it in a capsule or in some Ningxia and get it down. Or I put it in my bathtub, because Lindsay Elmore, the pharmacist, told us you can absorb it super well through your skin. I've always done Epsom salts, and right now I'm using pink Himalayan sea salt in my bath. And that's really good for minerals, but it takes a long time to soak it in through your skin. But the mineral essence, you can soak it in within your skin like in 20 minutes from being in the bathtub because of the form that it's in. So I will put it in my bath when I get in there with my Himalayan salt and my oils, Stress Away or Valor or whatever I feel like putting in there. And that will help me get some magnesium so that I don't have to take the mineral essence when I need it all the time, because it's a little yucky tasting. But I can get it down in some Ningxia, or some people put it in the little capsules, but it takes several capsules. Another good way to get magnesium, the Super Cal supplement that Young Living has, which is a calcium supplement, which we know, especially the women folk know, we need calcium, right? And it has magnesium in it. So that is a good way. I will take that at night when I am feeling anxious, and it'll help me calm down, along with the CBD and the Valor. So those are really good ways. If you're having a super duper high stress time, you're not going to be able to easily bring your stress and your cortisol down very, very easily. Cortistop is a supplement Young Living sells, and I don't take it every day. It says not to. It says take it for a period of time and then take a period of time off. So I will use it during super high stress times like when we were going through adoption and going to Nevada and sitting in the delivery room with Aubrey's first mom and going through all of those feelings and anxiousness. Like I was taking Cortistop like nobody's business during that time period. You all know when you have your stressful time periods, when Cortistop might be helpful to you to help you. It just completely blocks your body from making cortisol, which is the stress hormone that gets a bad rep. It's not an entirely bad hormone. It literally keeps us alive, which is good. But when we're making it and making it and making it, our body doesn't make other things we need, like progesterone and estrogen and things that we like to feel good. So Cortistop can help us block that making the cortisol and help us get it back under control in a super high stress period. If you're coming to this video and thinking anxious, yes, I'm anxious all the time, Cortistop might be a good place to start so that you kind of block your body from having that cortisol for a little bit. And then you can more easily ease into natural means to help you with your anxiety. CBD, the internal one, I still just use the 500. I use like about 7 drops under my tongue and hold it under my tongue morning and night. And that seems to work really well for me. Everybody's different. They say start at about 5 drops and wake your way up or down. Occasionally there's people who need a little less. When you've had too much and your body's not adjusting fast, you'll notice things like diarrhea. It's not a big deal. You just kind of drop down on your drops and use a little less until your body gets to the right place. Some people have to take like a 1/4 or a 1/2 of the syringe of the CBD. I am pretty good with about 7 drops in the morning and the evening, so mine lasts a really long time. And I've been using the 500 milligram. And no, it doesn't matter what flavor. I get asked that a lot, like any of the flavors you think you will like. I happen to like the mint one the best, but other people like the other ones the best. There's a citrus one and there's a cinnamon one. Just whichever one is fine, and then pair it with whatever you're trying to use it for. If I'm using it for anxiety, I'm going to use my CBD and use my Valor and take my deep breaths of that, and that is what I'm going to do morning and night. If you're coming to CBD thinking pain relief, put your pain away on your body and use your CBD. Put your Digize on your tummy and use your CBD if it's for tummy issues. And no, it doesn't mean that the CBD won't help with your anxiety or whatever. It's just we want to focus on what it is and give our bodies that oil that goes with it. So that is what I do for anxiety. CBD, Valor, morning and night. Deep breaths from the bottle, apply it. You can diffuse it. I don't honestly diffuse Valor very much because I'm still stuck in that, oh no, we're going to be running out of Valor mindset, even though that we have super good supply of it now. Oh, that's the story I was going to tell you. Valor, we used to run out of Northern Lights Black Spruce, but Gary Young built a Northern Lights Black Spruce distillery on a new farm in Canada, and the Northern Lights farm through the winter, which was crazy train when he really should have waited until the warmer weather. But we had been out of Valor so long and he knew that we needed it so bad. Like he built that distillery through the middle of winter in Canada so that we could get Northern Lights, so that we could get Valor. And they also reformulated it a few years back to take out rosewood because rosewood became illegal to farm and distill because of the supply of it in the world was dwindling. So we got our Valor back and it works and it's amazing and it, oh dear. Well, that's embarrassing. The whole little thing on the back of my phone that holds it up came off. Anyway, Valor is not in short supply anymore, so I could diffuse it if I wanted to, but I just don't very often. So I apply it and I use my CBD for anxiety. Cortistop for times of high stress. You can also get some magnesium in your diet, in your body to help with stress. Good ways to do that, mineral essence from Young Living. If you don't like the taste of it, you can put it in your bathtub with your Himalayan sea salt and your Epsom salts for your oily baths. And SuperCal, if you need calcium anyway, SuperCal is a great way to get some magnesium, which really helps with anxiety. I'm gonna go try to put my phone cover back together. Bye, Tribe friends. Let me know if you have any questions.